One day in 2023, NASA lost its mind. Not in a dramatic way, not in a Hollywood alarms blaring, red lights flashing kind of way. It was quieter than that, more terrifying than that. A machine that had been speaking to us faithfully for 46 years went silent. And then, just before total silence, it started speaking again. But what it was saying made no sense. It was as if someone had reached across 24 billion kilometers of empty space and scrambled its brain. The engineers sat there, staring at the data. Gibberish, total gibberish, repeating over and over. And the worst part? The machine was so far away that even their fastest message, a signal traveling at the speed of light, would take 22.5 hours just to reach it. Another 22.5 hours to hear a response. For nearly 2 full days, no one on Earth knew if it was still alive. We will come back to this moment. I want you to hold on to it, because once you understand what this machine actually is and what it's been carrying with it for nearly half a century, that moment of silence will hit you completely differently. By the way, where are you watching this from right now? Drop your city in the comments. I'm genuinely curious how far this video travels, because the object we're about to talk about, it's traveled farther than anything we've ever made. This is the story of the loneliest object in the universe. And I think by the end of it, you're going to feel something you didn't expect to feel about a chunk of metal. Let's go back, way back, to 1977. The year was a strange one. Star Wars had just come out. The Atari 2600 was brand new, and somewhere in a lab at NASA, engineers were putting the finishing touches on one of the most audacious things humanity had ever attempted. They were building 2 identical spacecraft, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, and they were going to throw them into the outer solar system. Not just to take pictures, not just to wave at Jupiter from a safe distance, they were going to get up close. To fly through the rings, to breathe in the data from worlds no human eye had ever seen clearly. The technology powering these spacecraft had less computing power than a basic calculator. The data was stored on an 8-track tape. These machines were built to last maybe 5 years. They are now 47 years old and still going. Before they launched, the scientists made a decision that I think is one of the most beautiful things humanity has ever done. They attached a record. Not a digital file, not a hard drive, an actual physical gold-plated copper record. The kind you'd play on a turntable, except instead of songs, it contained us. Everything we wanted an alien civilization to know about what it meant to be human. Greetings in 55 languages. The sound of rain hitting leaves, a mother whispering to her newborn baby, the laughter of children, the howl of the wind, a piece of Bach, a piece of Beethoven, a piece of Chuck Berry, and a recording, this is the part that gets me every time, of a young woman's brainwaves as she sat quietly and thought about falling in love. We bottled up love itself and threw it into the cosmos, just in case someone out there was listening. The 2 Voyagers launched 16 days apart and began racing outward together, twin explorers heading for the edge of everything we knew. But they weren't going to stay together for long. The twins flew together past Jupiter, past Saturn, and then a choice had to be made. Scientists wanted Voyager 1 to swing past Titan, Saturn's largest moon. It was a once-in-a-generation scientific opportunity. But the gravity of that moon was like a slingshot. It grabbed Voyager 1 and hurled it violently, permanently upward, out of the flat plane of the solar system entirely. The same thing would later happen to Voyager 2 at Neptune, throwing it downward in the opposite direction. They were born together in the same lab, launched weeks apart, carrying the same golden record, the same message, the same hopes, and the universe just casually threw them in completely opposite directions. Voyager 1 is now heading toward the cosmic north, Voyager 2 the cosmic south. They will drift like that, alone, cold, dark, for billions of years. They will never be close to each other again. For decades, both spacecraft flew under the protection of our sun. Our star creates a massive, invisible bubble, scientists call it the heliosphere, that stretches out billions of kilometers and shields everything inside it from the radiation of dying stars elsewhere in the galaxy. In 2012, Voyager 1 punched through that bubble. It crossed the boundary. It left the solar system. It became the first human-made object to enter interstellar space, the raw, unprotected space between the stars. A place where the solar wind completely stops, where cosmic radiation from ancient stellar explosions rips through everything, where the temperature hovers just barely above absolute zero. Absolute zero is negative 273 degrees Celsius, the temperature where all molecular motion stops, where nothing moves. This is the environment Voyager 1 is flying through right now, at 61,000 kilometers per hour. Before it crossed over, NASA did something quietly heartbreaking. They sent a command to Voyager 1 to turn its camera around one last time, to take a photo of home. From 6 billion kilometers away, Voyager 1 looked back, and what it photographed was a tiny, pale blue dot, barely a pixel, suspended in a beam of scattered sunlight. That dot is Earth. Every person who ever fell in love, every war ever fought, every child ever born, every moment of joy or grief or laughter in all of human history compressed into a single pixel. After taking that photo, Voyager 1 turned its camera off forever to save power. It made itself blind so it could keep going. And now it's out there, moving at 17 kilometers every second. No camera, no solar panels. It runs on the faint heat of decaying nuclear material, and that heat is fading. Every single year, it loses a little more power. The engineers have been making agonizing choices for years, shutting down instruments one by one, choosing which sensors to sacrifice to keep the rest alive. The spacecraft is freezing from the outside in. The cosmic radiation is scrambling its circuits. Which brings us back to 2023 and the gibberish signal. The impossible repeating noise coming out of a machine 24 billion kilometers away. I told you we'd come back to this. Here's what actually happened. After 46 years of perfect, faithful communication, Voyager 1 started sending back corrupted data. The flight data system, the chip responsible for packaging all scientific readings before transmission, had developed a fault. It was looping, sending the same scrambled block of memory over and over instead of real data. A chip that was built in the 1970s, surviving temperatures near absolute zero, bombarded by cosmic radiation for 5 decades, had finally started to crack. The engineers at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory sent a diagnostic command to figure out what was wrong. Then they waited. 22.5 hours for the signal to get there, another 22.5 hours to get a response. They sat with the silence for nearly 2 full days. When the data came back, they spent weeks studying it. And here's where the story gets genuinely incredible, because what they found wasn't a dead chip. The chip still worked. It had just developed a memory corruption in one small section. The fix? They rerouted the code. They rewrote the software on a 46-year-old spacecraft 24 billion kilometers away to avoid the corrupted section entirely. And it worked. A machine older than most of the people working on it, flying through a place no human will ever visit, was patched remotely across a distance so vast that light itself takes nearly a day to cross it, and it came back online. But here's the thing about that story that keeps me up at night. This fix is temporary. Everything about Voyager 1 is temporary now. The nuclear batteries will fail within the next few years. The transmitter will go quiet. The last whisper will cross 24 billion kilometers of empty space and arrive at a dish antenna on Earth, and then there will be nothing. But Voyager 1 won't stop. It will keep flying, cold and blind and silent, still carrying that golden record, still holding the sound of rain and children laughing and a woman thinking about love. In 40,000 years, it will drift past a nearby star. In 1 billion years, it will still be out there somewhere, long after the sun has swallowed the Earth. We won't exist. Our cities won't exist. Every trace of us will be gone. except for a small golden record drifting through the dark. We sent our loneliest machine carrying our most hopeful message into the most silent place in existence, and in a universe that doesn't care if we ever existed at all, we chose to reach out anyway. I think that says everything about us that needs to be said. If this story moved you, share it with someone tonight, not for the algorithm, just because some stories are worth passing on. And if you want to go deeper, the next video is already waiting for you. I'll see you there.